Get your butt up and work. You want to win? Winners don't rest. Oh my gosh, I'm totally kidding. Can you imagine? So welcome back to the Bougie Black Girls YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Dana and we are in a new environment. I just redecorated my bedroom, and if you guys want to see how I achieved this sort of bedroom aesthetic, I did post a video on Wednesday about that. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling the space in here. I'm kind of feeling the vibe. So I figured why not try out this setting for our Sunday chit chat video, and you guys can let me know if you like it or not. But as I'm sure you've probably gathered from the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about consistency, and more specifically, how do you balance consistency when you have things that you have to do versus things that you just kind of want to do and you want to achieve. So for the first 6 weeks of 2025, I decided to embark on this sort of like self-imposed consistency challenge to see if I could improve upon some things. So I kind of want to tell you guys like what the scope of that challenge was that I made, how it went, and then also just some lessons that I learned from that process that I think I'm going to be able to implement for the rest of this year and that everyone else can take with them as they move throughout the rest of 2025. So definitely give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, let's just get started. I was really aiming to start this year on the right foot in 3 major areas of my life: my content creation journey, my fitness goals, and then my like professional pursuits outside of like the social media digital space. Now, of course, there are a few other areas where I have things that I'm trying to achieve this year, but when I think about what is going to allow myself to sort of give myself a gold star at the end of the year, it's definitely those 3 areas that come to mind. And it was really less about achieving a thing or like getting to a certain end result, but it was about seeing if I could keep a promise to myself to show up for myself in those 3 areas. And while it was very challenging, I will say I've been pleasantly surprised with how things turned out. When it comes to the fitness side of things, I see a lot more balance in my workouts. I feel like I have been a little bit more willing to at least start to do the things in like my fitness journey that I need to do, but I don't necessarily like to do. For work and other professional goals, I think I've been doing a really great job in setting aside time to study and sharpen some skills that I've sort of just let fall by the wayside. I have been really great about setting objectives and to-do list at the beginning of the work day and the work week, and really making sure that I'm getting most, if not all, of those things done. For my content creator journey, it was really important for me to get this YouTube channel started back up. I had a really great video last year, and then I sort of just didn't let that momentum go anywhere. And so while I certainly haven't seen, some of the exponential growth that some people say they're looking for and other people are promising when you're on this platform, I've kind of already been able to double the community that we have here. I've been really surprised to see how much this space has grown and what you guys have engaged with. And also I've posted like double the amount of videos in just 6 weeks than I did all of last year on this platform, which seems crazy to me. And so the entire process was a really great eye-opener to show that while yes, I'm busy, and yes, I do need to prioritize my rest, inconsistency is something that I am and will continue to struggle with, and I need to be a bit more intentional about how I mitigate that. And I think that's something that a lot of us are having challenges with, and maybe we don't love to admit it to ourselves. So let's kind of dive into what I've learned about working through those muddy waters in this process. The first and probably the most challenging lesson I learned in all of this is that I am absolutely my biggest enabler. And that is a pretty crappy thing to have to admit to myself, but it is really true. So in the past, I definitely think I was living a very unhealthy lifestyle in the sense that I was not allowing for any rest in my life. I was on the go of the daily grind. I was not taking some time to decompress. I wasn't prioritizing myself and my hobbies. I wasn't prioritizing any time at all to really give myself reset. But I think since COVID, a lot of us have been a little bit more aware of that and have been trying to live a little bit more of a balanced lifestyle. The problem starts to manifest with myself and a lot of people when the pendulum swings too far to the other side. And so a lot of folks, myself included, get to this point where we are only prioritizing our rest. We are only in this situation, in this space where we are just looking for reprieve, and we allow the very real need to decompress, to overshadow some of the desires and the wants we have on the other side of things. And so it's been very important to me in this consistency challenge that I was sort of embarking on to find the middle ground. It's okay to, stay up late and work really hard and be tired one day, but are you going to let that carry into the next day and the next day and the next day? Similarly, it's okay to need some time to decompress, to have to kick the can down the road a little bit. But at what point do you say enough is enough? At what point do you say, okay, I have rested enough, and now it is time to start working towards the thing that's going to allow me to live the life and achieve the goals that I say I want to live and to have. The second thing I learned on this sort of like self-imposed consistency journey is that you do have to find motivation outside of just the finish line. And so a lot of us think about our goals or things that we want sort of like a vending machine. If I put $1 in, I'm going to get something right back out. And oftentimes we're not going to have that clear of like an exchange. And instead we maybe need to think about it more like when you put money in your savings account, like when you accrue interest, sometimes it's only like a couple of pennies. And when you see that, you're kind of like, well, what the hell am I doing this for? But when you kind of take a step back and you think about it, if you let that interest compound over time, even though it is very annoying to go through such a slow process, there is a return on your investment that eventually will benefit you and will lead to some of the results that you're looking for. I think that this has been especially true for me as I am sort of embarking on this new relationship I have with fitness in the fitness space. I think a lot of us enter the world of working out and the world of being healthy for aesthetic reasons. And if I'm being completely honest, that's absolutely why I started working out a few years ago. But I have finally gotten to the point where sort of like strength and the feeling is a lot more important than the aesthetics and the visuals, especially as somebody who does like aerial fitness and dance fitness. It's a very visual sort of fitness space, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do still have like visual and aesthetic goals for how I want to look and how I want my dancing to look, but if I can sort of just take a step back from that and enjoy and learn to see progress in the feeling in the moment and the little improvements, that long-term investment, that long-term return on investment will come, but I have to be okay and willing not to get that immediate exchange. And that actually leads me very nicely into the third thing that I've learned in this consistency journey is that while comparison is the thief of joy, sometimes it is a necessary evil. So there's a content creator by the name of Francesca Ramsey who has been around forever in digital spaces, and she posted a video at the end of 2024 on TikTok that really resonated with me and made me sort of think about if I had been honest in the comparisons that I, was doing, and that a lot of us I think naturally do. So basically the thesis statement of her story was that after she had met a creative who she felt like she should be on the same level, or if not sort of at a higher level than, when she actually talked to that person and realized how much effort and how much work they had been putting in, she realized that it was unfair of her to sort of have this entitlement towards a certain result when in reality, she hadn't been putting in the work. And I think that's something that I have had to really be honest with myself about in a lot of areas of my life. Like, yes, I show up, but like, do I show up 100%? Do I even show up 90%? Am I really being consistent, or am I sort of just expecting things to come easily and naturally for me in this area because things come naturally and easily to me in other areas? And growing up as a theater, band, choir kid, like I learned very, very quickly that consistency and a little bit of talent will take you way further than like a laissez-faire attitude and a lot of talent. And so I think it's just time for me to sort of really internalize those lessons and think about how they apply to other areas of my life as well. I may not be the best at XYZ. I may not have the sharpest video quality. I may not be the best editor, but if I can really show up authentically, if I can really set a schedule and really give it the good old college try, like what will my results look like? And even just in this past month and a half, like my results have been significantly better. And I think that just goes to show like, yeah, you're doing better because you showed up. Show up, girl, show up. The final thing I learned on this sort of self-imposed consistency challenge, but certainly not the least, is that while growth is not linear, it is very important to celebrate all of the wins in all of their shapes, forms, and sizes. I think in today's society, because we get so much instant gratification, when you have a big success, you're sort of always chasing that high over and over and over again. And it's certainly, good to have goals and to have milestones and want to, continue to level things up. But there is something to be said about the small wins and the small moments of growth. Like, there is something to be celebrated there, and you have to give yourself space and grace to enjoy those moments. In these past couple of weeks of posting on YouTube, I have had videos that have done, very well for my standards, and videos that have not done well at all. But when I take a step back and sort of think about it, I am just very grateful that anyone is willing to spend any portion of their day sort of engaging with what I have created and what I have to say. And so regardless of whether a video gets 100 views, 1,000 views, 10 views, 2 views, like, as long as I am really enjoying and can get behind what I'm producing, I'm very grateful, and I'm very gracious that you guys choose to spend your time here, and that does not go unappreciated. And I know a lot of people, sort of give lip service to that, but truly, I am in all that anybody gives an F about anything I have to say. So, that's a win for me. And I think as I continue to work towards goals online and offline, you have to find those spaces and places where that exists for you. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about the new setting. And then also, if you are working on being more consistent, if you have any tips or tricks that maybe I did not cover in this video, definitely leave them in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps as we try to grow this space in this place. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.